Legends, statements, store. Ow. I'm here. Yes, I'm here. I'm here. I'm here, and I'm so Sophia. Legends, statements. Legends. I'm here. Yes, I'm here. I'm here. I'm here.
Hello, babies. How y'all doing? And welcome to another episode of Diva Den. It's episode 10, y'all. We needed 10 of these episodes. 10, 10, 10 is the lucky number. So tonight we have a fabulous show lined up for you. We're missing Zena tonight. Her sister got married. So big shout out to Iva, who just jumped the broom today. So congratulations to her. A lot of stuff to talk about. A lot of stuff has happened this week. And our guests are absolutely hilarious. So we're going to have a good time chopping it up with them tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in Brianna.
Hello.
How you feeling?
I'm feeling fine. How everybody doing tonight?
I think the children are doing well. I think they're doing well. Hey, Tiffany Butler, how you feeling? How you feeling? Thank you for tuning in. Make sure that if you have any questions or comments that you comment on my actual live feed so that we can answer any questions that you may have. We're going to move on and welcome my other co-host. He is Dallas the Don. Give it up for Dallas.
Hey. What's going on, y'all?
You still spinning, huh? You still spinning.
Yeah.
You all smiles over there, baby.
Yes. It's episode 10. Thank you for tuning in. It's Diva Den. Make sure you like, subscribe, and tell a friend.
You always got some little saying, baby. You will come up with a jingle. Maybe you need to be in marketing.
Yeah.
Hey, Trasia, how are you doing? Hey, what's going on?
Yes.
We're going to welcome next to the den. He is one of our special guest co-hosts this evening. Give it up for Mr. John Brooks, y'all. Give it up for Mr. John Brooks.
Y'all.
Welcome to the den.
Thank you for inviting me to the den. How are y'all doing?
Oh, you're so prepared.
Ready.
Yes.
You gotta be ready.
Yeah. Welcome to the den. Welcome to the den. And last, oh, of course, I love you. And without further ado, let's welcome to the stage this is my good sister, my good friend. Give it up for Miss Sophia McIntosh.
Hey,
Okay.
Oh,
Yes, ma'am.
You getting the party started.
Yes, hey girl. I just didn't want y'all to say that Miss Sophia, she is not late on her word. She don't keep her commitment. But I just wanted to show up to let everybody know that I keep my word. But I didn't know Brianna was gonna be on here. So I'll holler at y'all later. Love you. Love you back here. I don't do Bree, honey. Love you back here. See you for the party next month.
What is it about Brianna, Sophia? What's up with her? She give you too much. She can't take you because you can't.
Girl, I watched her the other day. She was on her way to work in her car. Girl, I said, "Hey everybody, on my way to work. Hey everybody, I'm on my way to work. Hey everybody, on my way to work." I said, "Damn girl, we know you're on your way to work." You said, "Hey everybody, on my way to work." Well, what else?
Where do you work at?
First of all, and then she was dressed up. When she was looked like she was on her way to do a show. Yeah, you dressed like that for what?
Yes.
She was never Miss Gracious Plus.
Hey, Snickers.
Hey, Sophia, how are you?
Oh, I'm fine. They said John. I said, John. I said, what's Miss Snickers, honey? Who is John?
So I guess we're going to get the party started. I guess this first topic that we will discuss is former Florida gubernatorial candidate, Mr. Andrew Gillum, who got caught in the hotel room with a male sex worker and some crystal meth.
and it wasn't me. Just to be clear.
Ooh.
Just to be clear, it was not
Well, we
me.
know it wasn't you. They were a little smaller in their defense.
Hold on. You know, duct tape do miracles.
Okay. So what's y'all thoughts on that? What's y'all thoughts on that, honey? Sophia,
Well,
I'd love to hear your perspective.
He
I have been talking about it. I have been talking about it, and a lot of people told me. Well, first of all, you know as well as I know, you being in the limelight, me being in the limelight, all of us, we are in the limelight. And my thing was his sexual, what he does behind closed doors is none of our business. I've always felt that way. What he does behind closed doors is none of our business. However, when you are a public figure, you owe your supporters some type of explanation. And then it's just like a lot of people say, well, what he's doing, his sexual behavior, they don't have nothing to do with us. That has to do with him and his wife. And my thing is, but no, but when you are asking me to send you $5 or $10 or $100 to support your campaigns and everything, then you owe me an explanation as to why did you put yourself in this type of predicament to even be caught on camera like that. And so my thing has been that you owe it to your supporters, and then when you sit down and you owe them some type of explanation and an apology. And when you sit down with Tamara Hall, and I felt like he was not answering the question, you were dodging the question. So the thing for me is, if you're going to accept this interview with her, then I'm looking at this as a time for you to apologize to your supporters and to let them know that you know you're sorry and this is what happened, and now I want to just address this so I can move on and continue doing the things for you that I can do for you as a politician. But when I feel that you do the interview and I feel like you're not answering the questions, then I'm like, why are you here? Because you are here trying to, you know, you just here just trying to uh, just say, well, listen. Because when she asked him, she said, well, what was your intention? She said, what was the outcome that you were looking for when you went to meet them at that hotel? And then he went on this long explanation about, well, you know, I was vulnerable and I was in a place, and then they took advantage of me, and I was laying there on the floor in my own vomit, and da 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 da. That wasn't what she asked you. What
Mm.
she asked you was, were you going there to get some dick or to receive some dick? But you went on about this picture and how you know they didn't put you out there like this and you were vulnerable and they used you, and it's just like, no, she asked you what was the outcome that you were seeking. And
Mm.
so it's just like, okay. So at that point, I felt like, and then people still say, "Well, he don't owe you an explanation. What he does sexually, what he." I say, "He exactly, you're exactly right." But if that's the case, don't agree to do the interview, because I'm looking at it as one of your supporters. I'm looking at it as a point for you feeling sorry for what you did, and you caught yourself in this compromising position, and then you are coming to say, "I'm sorry, I'm sorry." Otherwise, if you don't feel that way, then what are you apologizing for? If you feel that you don't owe nobody no explanation for what goes on behind closed doors with you and whomever, what are you apologizing for, and why are you coming on here to salvage your career?
But
So it's just
did he always identify as bisexual, or is this something did he just identify under that? Um,
because, because you got
because,
caught now, because you have got caught in this situation. You know,
Now
now
you
you're saying that you identify as bisexual. However, he says that he and his wife, they had that conversation. They
mhm.
had the conversation, and so she knew. It's like, I'm cool with that. But it's just like when you make a decision. And I just talked to another one of my friends about it today, and she said that you have to be careful because you're in a position where people are going to listen to what you say, and then it's just like, you know, when you haven't looked at the whole interview. I said I saw the clips that they put up, but it's hard. It's hard for you to find the whole interview, you know, online and stuff. They put up two clips. I saw two clips, one of him, two of him, and one of his wife, and then they put up the whole after show that Tamara Hall did. You can see all of that. But the thing is, and like I've always said, and I still feel, he is a dynamic politician. He has a lot to offer to this world when it comes to being a politician. I just want him to come out, speak your truth, tell your truth, apologize, and move on. And don't look like you're coming out here trying to pull the wool over our eyes and not answer these questions. You're just looking to salvage your political career. Because if you're really sincere about apologizing, then be sincere and don't dodge no questions. Because if she asks you about apples and oranges and you go on this whole rant about lemons, then it got nothing to do with the question. And she specifically asked him, what was the outcome that you were looking for when you went to this hotel to meet those guys? And he went on there and ran about that. And then another thing that, she asked him something about, well, what happened? Because she said, I understand you was in Miami for a wedding. You were going to officiate a wedding. He said, yeah, my wife was coming and a couple of couples were coming. We all gonna meet there. And I went to Miami early, a day early, so I could take care of some official business. And then I was on the beach and I was drinking and da da da. And this whole thing about this and the way it was set up, he's setting it up now is that him losing the gubernatorial race in Florida sent him on this drinking binge. And then by him being on this drinking binge, his father was an alcoholic. And then this was the way he was coping with, losing the governor race in Florida. So now it's just like, and I was on the beach and I had been out there and I was drinking and da da da. And then I called a friend. I was supposed to meet my friend at this club at a hotel and da da da. We was gonna continue to drink. She said, "Some friends." She said, "A friend?" I said, "Yeah." So she said, "Well, how long you been knowing this person?" So I'm thinking one of the people that he's talking about, his friend, he was calling to meet, is one of the people that was in the hotel room with him. And he said, I've been knowing him for like 2 months. He said, 2 months? He said, 2 months? You would kind of got a friend. I was saying, so yeah, 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 an associate. So just like listening to that and hear and knowing what happened, I still feel that he has a lot to offer when it comes to politics. And I am so, 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 so serious about, because I get on my laughing hyenas about this. Like we are so quick to throw people away just because they made a mistake. And we've all made mistakes. And just like I want people to forgive me when I make a mistake, I have to be willing to forgive other people when they make mistakes. And he made a
Yeah.
mistake. So it's just like, I want him to just be totally honest and just tell the truth and apologize so we can move on. Then some people say that, well, how can you just say that that's not his truth? That may be his truth. And it's just like it may be, but when it's to me, it doesn't come across as he's being honest when you're dodging questions. When you are not answering questions and you're dodging questions, I can't accept that as you being truthful and you being honest, and that's your truth. Because we had to force you to let us know that you're bisexual. Although it's really none of our business, but if it's none of our business, you still didn't have to say that you're bisexual when you came and you talked to her because it's none of our business. So, what is it about the situation that made you come to us and be transparent when it's obvious that you're either bisexual or you're homosexual because you have 3 kids by a woman? So you are a heterosexual. So now we see you in these photos with these men, and then these men supposedly you met them on this site where you go and meet people on sites for sex. So it's just like you didn't volunteer that information until you were like
Caught.
forced to tell us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you say apologize, are you thinking apologizing for what him being caught in the act, him not being truthful about who he is?
No, I say apologize to your supporters because it's just like when we are public figures, just like you. For example, if it was you and you got the story broke that Zakia is on the 6 o'clock news. What's Zakia doing on the news? She was out on the corner prostitute. They bust her for prostitution. So then it's just like Zakia's grown. She can do what she want to do. She's a prostitute. But then with all the work that you are doing to prevent other people from doing that, it's just like you are preaching to people not to do something, yet and still you are the head of this organization and you are out there doing the total opposite of what you're preaching to everybody not to do. So it's just like when you come to apologize, you are coming to apologize. Yes, I know it was a bit hypocritical for me to say one thing, then I've been caught doing something else, and I do apologize because I'm the leader of this organization, and y'all have been looking up to me, and y'all have been, you know, supporting me and blah blah blah, and I be asking y'all for donations and stuff to help us keep this organization going and da 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 da. And no, I haven't been using y'all money to go and pay for the prostitutes and blah blah blah. So that I'm totally sorry and blah blah blah. So it's just like you apologize because people have been giving their money to your campaign and to your career because they believe in you and they see something in you that could, that this country needs right now. And
Right.
for you to put all that on the line, then I even talked to my friend. I said, and it's just like it's a judgment thing. If you knowing the position that you are in and you let your guards down and you make a judgment like that, how can I depend on you to make the right judgment when you're doing something that's going to affect me when it comes to your political career? How can I trust you not to make no bad judgment? Then my friend was like, well, no, you can't say that because, that's like comparing apples to oranges. I said, but it's all about his judgment, your judgment. And you know the position that you're in, and nobody has to put you up on a pedestal. And it's the same thing. I look at it as being the same thing as all these athletes. When the athletes get in trouble, and the first thing the news reporter will ask them is, well, how do you feel about that? Because, a lot of kids look up to you and, they're going to be disappointed. Well, first of all, I ain't nobody role model. Their parents should be their role model. Their parents should be their role model, blah, 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 blah. But it's like when you are in that position as an athlete, although you don't want to be the role model, it comes with territory. It comes with the territory. And it's the same thing with when somebody say they want to be a celebrity, they want to be a basketball player, you want to be a famous actor, you want to be a track star, you want to be a football star. All that comes with the paparazzi. And you cannot say you want to be all that, but you don't want to deal with the paparazzi. You have to deal with the paparazzi because it comes with the territory, whether you want it or not. So the same thing with Andrew Gillum, honey. It's just like, and I feel for him. I feel for him because it's the same thing that Bill Clinton had to deal with when, he got caught with the Monica Lewinsky situation. And it's the same thing. But you see, and we forgave him. We were able to move on, but still that comes up all the time. It comes up. But because a lot of people feel like Bill Clinton, when the time came, you've been caught in a lie. You've been caught in a lie. So all you could do is apologize and hopefully people accept your apology and move on. And that's all I want for Andrew Gillum because, like I said, he has a lot to offer when it comes to politics. And when you apologize, it's not apologizing for who you are because you are who you are. You're apologizing for your actions and being caught in the position of putting yourself in a position to be in this type of scandal.
That was deep. Hey, Chopsticks. Hey, Kai. Zena said, oh, no, the night I'm off. She was like, let me get myself together.
Miss Susie.
Hey, Zoe. Anybody else?
Zoe.
Sophia pretty much wrapped it up. Snickers, how you feeling about Andrew Gillum and that whole situation?
I mean, yeah, Sophia wrapped it up for me. I only heard bits and pieces of it, but Sophia kind of wrapped it up for me. That's kind of how it is. It's like when you put yourself in the court of public opinion, that's what happens. You be ostracized, criticized, but you acknowledge it and you keep it moving. And to see summed it up. You inspired me, Sophia. Okay. But yeah, that's kind of it for me.
Yeah, and he's easy on the eye too, child.
See, that's how he got in the rooms, our kids.
Easy on that. Easy on that.
And his wife, and then it's just like his wife, you have to feel for her. But then it's just like, even with them coming out saying that they have discussed this before, she knew he was bisexual. And then it's just like, for me, it's just like hard for me because I've been in this life for a long time. I've been in this life, this gay life for a long time. And I know that down low men, I know the harm that the down low men have brought to our community. Because I think a lot of the things that we go through in the gay community, I think part of it is because of the down low men. And they have went through the heterosexual. See, that's 513 on here, girl. I think these down low men have been messing with heterosexual women, and then these heterosexual women found out that they were on the down low. So when they find out that this man they've been messing with is on the down low, they lash out at the whole community because of one person.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like it's the same thing with these women. I feel like, and then it's just like we know the statistics show that of all the women who are okay with dating bisexual men, black women the numbers is low. Ain't that many black women that I know that's going to openly date bisexual men.
No, they
They
not.
know. And so
And if
then
they do, they got low self-esteem.
So then I think, and then it's just like I think that all of this is a part of their strategy to fix what is broken. I if that's what she said, I have to accept that as her truth. But as far as me buying it and her being a black woman and she having 3 kids for this man, knowing that he like down low men, did on the clip that she did when I saw her talking to uh, Tamara. She said, I called him about 50 times. She said, I knew something was going on. I called him about 50 times and he didn't respond. I just knew there was something going on. And it wasn't until the next day, and he called and he said, well, first of all, if my husband is missing and I feel in my heart that something is going wrong, I'm not just going to wait it out to see if he's going to eventually call. I'm calling the authorities. My husband's missing. I have been trying to call him I done called him 50 times and there's no response. This is not like my husband. I need something's going on. But she didn't do that. But then she said they had the conversation and she called him, she called him, she called him, she couldn't reach her husband. And she would just wait for him to call her back. So it's just like, okay, well, if that's her truth, that's her truth. But I'm not buying it. For it's me, I'm not buying it.
Yeah, because I read that too, that, she stayed and she said that she knew it prior to. And I was like, really? I don't know no black women that's going to, stand up and just openly marry somebody who is bisexual. I don't believe that either.
But there are
Unless it's
some,
money long.
there are some, but the percentage is low. But just like Caitlyn Jenner, her and her situation, she said that she knew how I felt this way. And it's like, then the Kardashian mama, she came out and I think sometimes she say, no, that's his story. But no, I didn't know. So it's like, but that's her story and that's her truth and that's her truth. But as far as me, I just don't buy it.
Dallas, you wanted to talk about the mayor debate 2020.
The mayoral debate.
In Richmond, this upcoming Thursday, it's the mayoral debate. It's going to be at Virginia Union. If you're local in the area, you can tune in to Channel 8. They're going to be hosting. It's going to be from like 5 to 6.
Is that correct?
Channel 8, WRIC.com. Check it out. It's the mayor debate for 2020. Remember, they are on the ballot. So it's Thursday. It's going to be 5 to 7, and it'll be on ABC 8 News from 5 to 6. And also on the website, WRIC.com.
Hey, ZBT, you
Hey,
jumped.
I'm such a groupie. Hey, Sophia. Hey,
She was happy
John.
to see Sophia.
When I
Girl, look
heard
at Sophia.
I was at a wedding and I heard y'all was gonna be guests and I just screamed because I love both of y'all. So I had to come in because I have to be part of the DM with y'all too. If nobody else, how y'all doing? Hey, Miss Sophia,
Who got married, girl?
my sister.
During the pandemic?
It was very small, but we were very protected
Wear your mask.
in the room with my mask. Oh, wait a minute, because you already hopped in my ass last time about my mask. Where my mask at? I got you this time, Miss Sophia.
There she,
She said in the room.
there she go.
Look, that's the same one you had on last time. That's full of germs. But I just want to piggyback on what Dallas just talked about.
Jesus.
Dallas was talking about the mayoral race. We as a people, we are going to have to stay in tune with politics daily. We have to know what's going on in politics daily. And that's what happens with a lot of our people and why we lose a lot of people vote when important elections come up. But if we keep every election and we know what's going on politically daily, then we would have to be reminded about a mayoral race because we're so in tune to it. We'll talk about that just like when we you don't have to remind nobody about when P Valley coming on. You don't have to remind them when the housewives coming on. You don't have to remind nobody when their favorite basketball game coming on, their favorite sports coming on, but you have to set out reminders about elections, and elections directly affect us. What people do who are in office, that directly affects us. What happens on P Valley, what happens on Housewives, what happens in a basketball game, it don't have nothing to do with us. But the people who are in office, they make decisions that affect us daily. And we have to be reminded when a mayoral race is coming up, or when the school board, when the school board is, we getting ready to vote on the school board, or we getting ready to vote for the president, we getting ready to vote. A lot of people don't even know who their district representative is.
Right.
They don't know who their state representative is.
And then, a lot of people jump in, specifically about the presidential election, but all of them are important. Like
Yeah.
all of
Yeah.
them, state, local, all of them.
And I tell everybody, I don't care if we voting on dog catcher. If we voting on dog catcher, you need to make your vote count when it comes to dog catcher. Otherwise, and
Yeah.
he's my husband and I love him dearly. Otherwise, if you're not paying attention, Michael Vick could very well be over the, shelter with the dogs because y'all don't pay attention to the dog catcher election. And then when you find out that Michael Vick is one calling the shots about the animal, he's in control of the animal society. Then you want to be mad. What you mad for? You should have went voted.
Mhm.
Because you didn't go vote, Michael Vick is now over the animal shelter.
Right.
So vote,
Re-
kids. You heard it from Mama Hyena, y'all. Y'all need to
I
vote.
cannot.
Vote.
It's not, I can talk, girl. I can talk, girl. I love to talk. I love to help educate our people. But not only that, it's just like even with you, with what you're doing in Richmond, and then Avant is doing the same thing, kind of like in uh in Virginia.
Atlanta.
And then uh Jasmine Tazaki, she's doing the same thing in Memphis. And then there are other people doing it in Dallas. And the thing about it is, what you all are doing, there are grants available, and there are people just like we can talk to people about helping fund your organization because there's money out there that's available for organizations, like yours and like Jasmine Tasakis, like the one that's going on. But because we don't care, we're not in tune with stuff like that. We just leave it to you to do all the work. And then you do all this work, and Avantas do all the work, Jasmine Tasaki, they do all that work, and then the guy in Dallas do all that work, and the guy in such, everybody do all that work, and then it's just like you do all that work, and then there's no support. It's just like I'm doing this for y'all. Where are y'all? Tatiana Braxton doing the same thing in Florida. But then y'all do all this, and then y'all look for the support, from the people that you all are helping. And it's just like you gotta beg them to support you when you done all the groundwork, basically.
Yeah,
And
they
all
just
y'all have to do is show up and take advantage of these
services.
funds and services that are available. And y'all, you gotta beg them to show up.
Yeah, a lot of times it's got to do a lot with pride. People are so stuck in
yeah.
that pride and caught up in that way that they don't want to access services or don't want to access services from specific people because they hold a grudge or whatever. But that's on you. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of people that I genuinely don't like. But if they need help, I help them because that's my job. That's my passion. That's
Yeah.
my commitment to the community. A lot of them, have hangups and don't want to access services when they really should be and need to be accessing those services.
And just like the other day, they did a town hall with Donald Trump and some black people. And the people, a couple of people, I don't know if it was all or some, but a couple that they've been running the clips from that town hall with Donald Trump, they identify as undecided.
Mm.
Whether it's Joe Biden or Donald Trump, how can you be undecided?
Right.
It's like picking between life and death. Either you
Yeah.
want to live or you want to die. Which one is it? Ain't no such thing as undecided in this election.
Right. Right. And no other parties and all that other kind of stuff. You got to vote where it counts, you know. And these undecided people, these people that feel that way, those are the people that's going to trick up the election, where we might end up with him for another 4 years, and that's going to be hell.
And don't get me wrong, I don't think the Democrats have all the answers, and they're not just totally 100%. There are issues with the Democratic Party, but the Democratic Party has less issues than the Republican Party. Republican
And
Party
more
have
liberal.
zero interest. In my opinion, the Republican Party have zero interest in what we need and helping us. Because first of all, their whole agenda is they don't like helping people who in need. They don't like giving you food stamps. They don't like giving you financial aid. They don't like to give you stimulus checks
And healthcare,
Yeah.
because
because they look at all of it as welfare.
yeah, they come from privilege, so they're not used to that or not accustomed to that, and that is not, you know, their narrative. So they've never experienced the need for it, but so many people need it. So many people. And one of our viewers, Anjane Moore, she said there are many who choose death, I guess meaning voted for Trump. So we
And
had a
we have to be okay with that. They choose death. We have to be okay with it. Because
yeah.
my dad chose death. My daddy chose death, but that was a medical death decision that he made.
So we had a loss in the country.
Mm, mm, mm.
Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Notorious RBG.
That woman did too much for you to butcher her name up like that.
Well, no, actually, that was her moniker. I just read that. I've been reading, trying to look around, and she was given that name
Uh-huh.
because of how how she delivers what she do. And from a younger standpoint, that speaks volumes to her. When I said it and I read it, I said, oh yeah, that was her. We
No,
lost a good one. We
Zakia
lost a good one.
called that woman Ruth Bader Ginsburg. That lady's name is Ruth Bader.
Ruth Bader, my bad. My bad.
I don't know how to spell that much, but I do know Bader comes with a couple of T's.
Well, it could be badder.
Well, it was, but I wish she could have held on till January.
Yes, yes.
And what's up with them trying to immediately try to push it out of him?
Okay. So go ahead. Anybody else have something to say? Because I can go.
It's just so funny because today I heard it was like they're trying to fill her seat and they already have this master plan of what they want to do, when, where, how, and what. And I just wish we could have left it open.
But this is the situation. When Barack Obama was the president, there was a vacancy for the Supreme Court
Yeah.
justice.
Mitch
And
McConnell.
Mitch McConnell and the senators would not interview Judge Mueller. They would not interview him. And they had like 12 months. They had 12 months, about 12 months before the election. And Mitch McConnell and the Republican Party would not even interview him because they said that let the voters decide. It's too close to an election. It's too close to a presidential election. So we're going to wait and let the voters decide. If the voters decide to put a Republican in there, that means they want that Republican to vote on who the next
Yeah.
Supreme Court justice. They want to put that nominee. So if the Democrats win, then we can go on with that nominee. But the thing about it is now it's even closer to an election than it was when Barack Obama nominated somebody and they would not interview that person. So now they're saying that, and I just saw on the news tonight where they're saying that Donald Trump could announce the person that he is he's picking for the nomination next week. They said he could announce it next week, and then they're going to try to get the vote. So it's just like, well, y'all said it was too close to an election when Barack Obama had his choice. So now it's even closer to a presidential election, but you're okay with it. So now he is trying to twist the whole narrative and saying
Yeah.
at this time it's because we had a Democratic president in office and a Republican Senate. So we said we need to wait and let the voters decide to see the outcome of the election before we, take this issue up. So now he said that now it's different because we have a Republican president and we have a Republican Senate, so we can go on and get it done. So that's another way the Republican Party is showing us again that they don't care
Mhm.
what we say. They
Yeah.
don't have our best interests at heart. They just want to do what they want to do because they only love power. They don't care about what's
That's
best
it.
for the people. They just want to be empowered to make the decisions. It really,
And then with the 6-3 majority.
yeah. But they don't think they think that they're going to have to wait until after the election. Whether Donald
Yeah.
Trump loses, whether Donald Trump lose or win, they are going to try to vote on the Supreme Court justice nominee.
Mhm.
But the thing that's really holding them up is because they only have like a 53 to 50 majority. I think they need if four Republicans decide that they're not gonna vote on it and stuff, then it's just not going to happen. And I know that one of the people, it's four people. I think Lisa Murkowski and what's his name that's running in Kentucky, because Mr. McConnell, he's up for re-election. Lisa Murkowski, and then the other lady, um,
Who's
I
the
forget
lady
her
in Maine?
name.
The lady in Maine too,
Um,
right?
that's her. That's what Susan
There's
Collins.
another lady
Susan
in
Collins,
Maine.
Um,
Lisa Murkowski,
Yes.
um, and uh, 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 what's his name? It's right on the tip of my tongue, but I can't say it right now. Lindsey Graham. They're all in tough elections. They're all in tough re-elections. So they cannot just come out and say that they're willing to vote on, a new Supreme Court justice, being this close to the election, because
Mhm.
all of them were on board for not interviewing Barack Obama's nominee. So if you come out and you say that you're willing to do it now, then you're flip flopping on what you said. You're contradicting
Yeah.
what you said the last time. And
Yeah.
then they're all up for re-election. So it's just like, okay, try it if you want to. That'll drive people to the polls because see they've been lying. Now they flip up. Now
Mhm.
they said one thing when Barack Obama sent his nominee up
And then
there,
the
and they wouldn't
Democrats will
even
probably
do
take
it.
over the House again.
So now all of a sudden they okay with it. They okay with it. It's all about being in power.
It's all
Yeah.
foolishness. All foolishness.
Hmm.
Mm.
But they love black people and they love gay people.
and I would
They
love to
love black
see them
people.
pick a justice. I wish a black female would be perfect. Just a little more diversity with the Supreme Court justices
Mm.
would be good.
But and then we have to just get to the point. We just have to get to the. Well, I have just gotten to the point where I don't care who's in office. I do care, but I don't care. I care who's in office, but if the person that I feel will do the best job while they're in office and who care for the people, that person don't win. The bottom line is to me. 4 years ago when Trump won, I didn't want him to win, but here it is 4 years later, and God still have all of us here. So regardless of what he did or what he didn't do, God still took care of all of us for those 4 years. And the same
Yeah.
thing's gonna happen. If he win again, God's gonna take care of us another 4 years. I don't want him to win, but if he does win again, God gonna take care of us for those next 4 years. And then the whole thing about the Supreme Court, they're trying to stack up the Supreme Court in their favor.
Mhm.
And you can do that, and it may work for a little while, but just like Ruth Bader Ginsburg passed, remember that somebody else passed when Barack Obama had to send a nominee up.
Yeah.
Somebody else can. So although they can be there, that's a position that it lasts for a lifetime or whenever they decide to retire. All of us have expiration dates on our
Mm.
life. So you can stack the court however you want. But when God is ready for them to get out or for them to call them home, you can't do nothing. Because I don't care what kind of position you have. Yeah, you could be appointed to the Supreme Court justice for life, but that don't mean that you're gonna spend the rest of your life on that. You're not gonna live like Moses or
Mm.
Methuselah. You're not gonna live no like Methuselah. You coming up out of there one way or the other. Not wishing bad on people, but it's just reality of it. When y'all
Yeah.
think y'all can outsmart God, honey, you can't outsmart God.
It is what it is.
Not at all.
That's right.
So moving the conversation to you, Mr. Brooks. So tell our viewers who is John Brooks and where did Snickers come from?
Where the Snickers come from?
Who is John Brooks and where did Snickers come from?
Actually, Snickers is it's kind of funny. I moved to Atlanta probably December 2000, and I did my first talent show. I did the first talent show at Phase One, and my first time ever. I was from a majority Caucasian neighborhood, so it was different for me. I did a talent show at Phase One. Grown up in Atlanta, watching Sophia and Maxine in my adulthood, so I decided I went to the talent show and was getting away some Snickers in college. And what we did in college was like we hand out Snicker bars and we're like, hey, come Snicker with us. Just to hand just when we had comedians come to college. And when I moved to Atlanta, I was like, oh, that may be a cute idea. And I just called myself Snickers from then. So it was cool.
So is it a difference between John Brooks and Snickers?
Okay.
Is it a difference between John Brooks and Snickers? You still can't hear me?
There is a difference. So I can hear you a little bit. Go ahead.
Okay. No, I was saying, is there a difference between John Brooks and Snickers?
Yeah, there is a difference between John Brooks and Snickers. Snickers is just a fun person. I got inspired to like host shows and stuff by watching Sophia and Maxine Blue when I moved to Atlanta, and that's kind of my inspiration. So Sophia and Maxine always see me at their show just laughing, and of course I was the read back then, so it was funny. So I used to always go to the shows, and of course I never saw any female impersonations or comedy or drag shows at all until I moved to Atlanta in December 2000. So watching Maxine Blue and Sophia McIntosh was like my inspiration, and that's what Snickers came up about. I like the Snickers have a good time. John Brooks is totally different from Snickers, and then Snickers is totally different from Rory, and then it's just all what you put on for us. So,
So how did you get into promoting male dancers?
how did I get into
Promoting male dancers.
so bad?
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Did you hear me?
This about to be a mess.
How did I get into promote male dancers?
Yes.
Yeah, I used to. I don't know. Phase One was my spot. I moved to Atlanta. I was 21, and they had a Dollar Thursday at Phase One, and you get in Phase One for $1 and drink for $1 drinks, and it was fun. And I just happened to my friend, one of my other mentors in the business, Reggie Thomas. He happened to be the promoter there. Kind of connected with him, and just started passing flyers out. And then next thing you know, I was a show director for the strippers. But not what Sophia said. I think Sophia was doing strippers and stuff before I was.
And then with pageantry, how did you get into pageantry? Did you hear me? Did you hear me, Snickers?
Yeah, how did I get into pageantry?
You try to figure out how to get past that last line.
Yeah.
He just told.
Pageantry, it was something, Atlanta again. I moved to Atlanta December 2000. Pageantry, it was one night, late at night, I went to 708. And it was like my first pageant but I was just going to 708 as a person. It was like 12:30 in the morning, and I was at every international newcomer, and it was about it had to be about 30 contestants. Every didn't play. It was like whoa, and then I just my first pageant I ever been to, and it was interesting, and I got hooked by then. And then my first full pageant I went to was a lesbian pageant, which was All American, which was at the Atrium. This is back about 17 years ago. When Alex Santiago owned All American Family, was one of the big lesbian pageants there. And then from there, I used to hang out with a bunch of lesbian girls. They were my homegirls, and we hung out, and that's what we did. We went to pageants and stuff. And I thought, well, shit, this is interesting. Let me start my own.
So you got something coming up. Tell us about that. What you got cooking?
Oh, cooking. It's our annual Peach State pageant. I used to own a pageant called King Queen of Hearts, and we took that and transferred it over to Peach State. I like Peach State. It has a little bit better rhyme or reason to it. Got a little bug to it. I enjoyed it. And the annual pageant's coming up on November 29th. Presentation is always drag, and more drag with a headpiece or mask, which is required. For everybody who comes to the pageant will be required to put on a mask as well. Categories are presentations, sportswear, swimwear, evening gown, evening wear, and talent. Oh, you got your glass too, Zaki?
Yes, I got my peach. Yes. So the viewers want to know, Snickers, are you single? Are you dating? What's that?
They want to know what?
Are you single? Are you dating?
It's complicated. You know how it is. I figure dating out of town is always the best thing because you can date out of town, and like my friend live in Philly. You do your thing in Philly, I do my thing in Atlanta, and then we see each other. So, yeah.
Any questions from our panelists, from our co-hosts? Any questions for John, y'all? Brianna, I know you said you had some.
Yeah, I don't want to answer nothing.
When?
He not with come out with the truth. I feel like you just interviewed Andrew Gillum.
I'm having a hard time hearing.
You ask him how he get into promoting male strippers, honey. He talk about, and I just he wanted to promote male strippers. He was on the But you notice how he said, yeah, and I got my stuff for Snickers, and I love Maxine Blue and Sophia, and you know what I'm saying, and Maxine Blue and Miss Sophia, and Maxine Blue and Miss Sophia. He never called me to host none of his pageants. Because he know I wasn't going to let him play with mine.
Ooh.
And I hear that's how he pay girl. He don't
I don't know, Miss Sophia. I've been one of his queens, and he wanted to play with mine, child. And look, I got paid in cash.
No, honey, that's what. He done sent you the glass and everything, honey. I'm drinking out the bottle. No, but seriously though, Snickers is one of the most supportive people that I know since I moved to Atlanta. He has not changed one bit. He has been the same person since the first day I met him, and he has not changed. The only thing that has changed is him starting to, host shows and stuff, in Camp Drag like me, honey. But as far as his personality and his spirit, it has been the same ever since I moved to Atlanta, and it's still the same.
Snickers is a good guy. My years Peach State was amazing, and we actually connected when he lived here in Richmond, and it was funny. We just ran across each other, and we became like thick as thieves, and I love him to death. So,
for me, I just thank Snickers for all your contributions, all your support throughout the years, You know, I popped up everywhere, and I see Snickers right there too. Always supporting the girls. He supports the art. He supports everyone, and I mean, ever since I've known you, I'm just grateful and thankful. So thank you for what you do. Peach State is a great place. I've heard everyone have a good reign that's ever been Peach State. So thank you for having it. I can't wait to maybe one day get me a peach.
And I'm just
Mm.
Zakia's little friend who just love anybody Zakia love. And the first time I was in your presence, I just fell in love with you. And anytime she said Snickers, I would laugh because I never knew what your name meant. So tonight I found out what Snickers meant. But you've always been an awesome person anytime I've been in your presence. And I'm a fan. So
Oh, thank you. I
you
Not
appreciate,
welcome.
only
I
do he
appreciate it.
support, not
The
only do
love
he
is amazing.
support,
I enjoy doing what I do because
I just would say, not only do he support the community and he support the girls, we cannot leave out the fact that he also supports the bar. Because I'm telling you, liquor sales go up when he in the building.
I know that.
Hey man,
No, listen,
he love
listen.
his Jack and Coke, girl. He love his Jack and Coke, baby.
He started off like this. He started off talking real cool about it
Yeah,
yesterday
keep it peachy. Keep it peachy.
night. Well, Snickers, my first time when I became Miss Nations Plus, that was one of the requirements was to attend Peach State. And I had heard so much stuff about Peach State. I was like, let me go see, you know what I'm saying, what everybody's talking about. But when I went to the pageant, um, you were very hospitable. The court was very hospitable. I enjoyed the pageant. I enjoyed entertaining. I enjoyed the entertainment. It was really really nice. But and I don't give kudos to a lot of pageants. No shade. I don't give kudos to a lot of pageants, and I do try to go to a lot of pageants to see what pageant I would do next, or if I was to even go that way. And I like Peach State, so I was like, I think I would come to the orchard one time and see if I could grab one of those peaches off the tree. You gonna help me, Miss Sophia? You gonna hold my legs?
Sure, they known for cheating. You ain't got to worry.
Well, two things for sure,
yeah.
Sophia. They ain't got to worry about cheating with me because I'm gonna be together.
Oh, they definitely gonna have to cheat for you, girl, because these young girls will whip you together.
Why I can't hear that good?
Snickers, if you can't hear, go out and come back in. Yes, yes. Brianna, you want you a peach, huh? Bree.
Yeah,
She
I
going to
mean,
work.
I went to the pageant and it was all right. Huh? Can you hear
She
me?
going to work, girl. She going to work.
What you say, Sophia?
You going to work.
I'm off for the weekend. You know what, Sophia?
Oh my goodness. Oh my
She going
goodness.
to work, Tia. She going to work, baby.
Is that better for you, Snickers?
It's much better. I couldn't hear anything. I know Sophie was clowning so hard, but it's all good.
Perfect.
No, Bree was saying that she want to come to your page and get a peach, and she was asking if I was gonna help. I said, "Girl, they known for cheating. You ain't got to worry. Go ahead." And that's one thing about it, now. He ain't got that money, but he gonna make sure you win if you don't want the money.
First category is drag, drag, and more drag. Bring your A game.
And tell the viewers what you look for in drag, drag, and more drag. Break down the categories and let folks know how they can either get an application or pay their entry fees.
Okay. First category is presentation, drag, drag, and more drag. Basically, is anything extension of the norm with a headpiece or mask on it, and that's the requirement. Headpiece or mask. You can wear a gown. You can wear a costume along you have a headpiece or mask on. That's what that category is. And you have your sportswear or swim. You have evening wear or formal wear, and then you have talent, which is no longer than 6 minutes, and can be solo talent too.
You said can't be or can be?
It can be.
Can't be. Yes. Okay.
Solo talent is okay. Yeah.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
It
It's
can
definitely.
Available tomorrow. And that outlines everything, expectations, and all the other good stuff. So.
And your reigning court is who?
The reigning Mr. and Miss Peace State is Christian Lord Bonet and Trazia Iman.
Christian. He's a cutie pie, honey.
Yes, they have been eating Trinity K. Bonet's Divas and Duke show up, and I have been just enjoying it. They have been a delight. He has mixed it up and been such a versatile entertainer.
Yeah,
Sophia,
really good.
Sophia, what you puffing on over there, Sophia?
Girl, I'm trying to see if we need to start an intervention because Boogie look like she's trying to strangle herself.
It was me. I was looking. I was like, "Who's she talking about?" It was me.
It's just a little something that Snoop Dogg sent me.
Oh, he did.
I'm sorry, this smoke bothering y'all?
No, it's not. So November the 29th date, and where are you having it?
I was at the Diva Den Event Center in Decatur.
Yes.
So we're gonna be honoring social distancing, so be enough space for that as well.
That's what's up. We want to give a birthday shout out to Mario Lee.
Woo! Go Mario!
Turn up.
Happy birthday, Mario!
What'd you say, Snickers?
Nothing. Happy birthday, Mario.
You did say something.
There you go.
We also want to give a shout out to Jason Smith for doing his voter registration today. Brianna, you want to elaborate a little bit more on his voter registration today?
Yes. I was really psyched up today because Sophia, thank you. I was really excited today because that was something that we need in our area. We need for people to do things like that to show the importance of voting. Because when I was riding to work the other day, Sophia, I was listening to the Steve Harvey show, and he made a good point. He said, "Don't complain about who comes in office if you don't register to vote and then vote, because your vote does count." So it was a good turnout today. They did register some people. Zakia came out there and spoke, and she read a little bit of history about voting that a lot of people didn't know. So that was very enlightening. But I think we need more states to do that, to show the importance of voting. And then, like Zakia said, it's not just to register to vote, it is to vote. And it's crazy because it was an older Black man. He was there, and a lot of the people, some of the people, they was waiting to get the food and stuff like that. And so I asked him, was he registered to vote? And he said, no, I am a convicted felon. And I told him, I said, well, I'm a convicted felon too. And I was like, I've had my rights for 2 years now. So, but some people don't know that they can go on. I don't have the specific website, but it's a website you could go on to see if your rights have been restored, and if not, then you can apply for them to be restored. So I think that's very, very important because those are a lot of votes too from people getting released from incarceration. Those are a lot of votes too. And for him to not know about his rights being restored, and he's been out for 4 years, you know what I'm saying? We need to educate our community and let them know to get their rights back.
So just so people know, in Virginia, it's early voting. It has started. The polls open September the 18th. So you can go and vote, and they're open till Saturday, October the 31st. So make sure you go out and vote. Make sure you go out and vote. What are your voting plans, Miss Sophia?
Oh, baby, my voting plans, I'm going to the poll on November the 3rd, honey. I'm going to be campaigning hard for Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. I'm gonna be campaigning hard for Reverend Water out here in Atlanta, and I'm going to be sharing the love on all of my social media, honey, because this is an election that, baby, it's gonna last forever and a day. And then
Mhm.
since we speak about the election, I also want to piggyback on, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, the Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. She's gone, and also Congressman John Lewis, who
Mm.
was the last surviving member of all of the voting rights mess that he went through back in the day. And so it's just like these people held on as long as they could
Oh
to
no.
make
Mhm.
sure that we were taken care of. And now it's just like the ball is in our court, the ball is in our court, and the baton has been passed. And it's just like, what are we going to do? Are we going to let what these people did? Because I mean, Congressman John Lewis was beaten. Not just him, but a lot of people were beaten, hung, killed, and died for us to have the right to vote. And then when you look at the state of the world today, it's just like, what they did was for nothing because we are still fighting because they are trying to suppress the vote in 2020. They're still trying to suppress our vote. So it's just like, well, what did they die for? And we got to get out there to these polls to make sure that they're voting and they're, fighting and everything wasn't in vain.
Mm. You sound
That's
like you
true.
heard. You sound like you heard my speech today, Sophia.
You don't have to be there because the young kids, and I have nothing against the young kids and everything, but it's just like a lot of times I think because we have we have moved, so we are so far removed from when we had to look over our shoulders, and when we didn't have these young kids today. They really don't have to fight for nothing, and that's why
Mhm.
even in the pageant world that we're a part of, the young kids and the new kids, they come to the pageants as though we owe them something. They're entitled to something. They don't know the history of all it. They don't know how pageants started. They don't know what the girls went through. They don't know why we have Black USA and Miss Gay USA. They don't know why we have Black America and Miss Gay America. They don't know why we have these different pageantries. But it's just like they want to jump in the pageants. Then when they jump in the pageants, they think we got to just crown them just because. It's like, no, you need to know your history, honey. But it's a mess, child. It's a mess. But we just gotta always stick together and look out for one another, honey. And then it's just important for us to know our history. And it's just like I can't remember who it was, but somebody said it was a young person. She said that the reason that she was doing something, she was looking for the people. She said, "I'm looking for people who gonna stand up for us. I'm waiting for the people to go stand up for us and start the march and protest and everything, so I can support them." And then she said she realized that it wasn't happening. And then it dawned on her, "Oh, I have to start it." So
Mhm.
just we're gonna have more people like that. It's just like while we waiting on somebody to start the movement, you are the one to start the movement.
Yep.
And then it's just like everybody's not gonna be a part of every movement. So it's just like everybody don't have the same needs and wants. So it's just like if somebody, just like when the whole Black Lives Matter thing comes, then the trans people start saying, well, they don't include trans lives, so trans lives matter. Well, if they don't include you, start the trans lives matter movement. They don't include the lesbian life. Well, they don't include start a lesbian lives movement. Because the whole thing about it was all this started because of the racial profiling and the killing of black men at the hand of white police officers. So if you want to add your piece to that puzzle, it's just like put your piece on that puzzle, but don't just tear down the whole puzzle because your piece is not added. If you want your piece to be on there, add your piece to it. It's just like all lives matter, and everybody don't walk the same walk. So if a person don't walk the trans line, and you have friends who have died, we all have friends who have died.
Yeah.
Trans in the gay community. Come on, you start that, and then it's just like if the Download brothers have a problem with not being represented, y'all come on, be represented. The teachers have a problem with teachers' lives not matter. Come on, teachers, y'all need to start a teachers' lives matter movement. It's just like everybody have to do their part, honey. Don't look for everybody to represent you. Represent yourself.
Create your own table.
That's it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Miss Sophia, to you. Tell us who is the person behind Sophia McIntosh.
Oh my God, girl. when I first started, when I went to my first show, like first of all, I didn't to the young people. I know this is like speaking French to them today. I did not go to a gay club until I was in college. I did not attend a gay club until I was in college. I did not know a gay club existed. I didn't even go to a club until I was in college. So then, when I was in college, and then my friends took me to a gay show, and I saw the host, and I was going to school for theater. So my thing was, when I saw what the host was doing, I said I could do that because she's just acting, and that's what I'm going to school for. So once I did all of that, so now I'm a part of the gay club, and I'm in the gay scene and everything. So I want to be the host. My whole purpose to being a part of the gay shows was to just be the host, and I wanted to be the host just like this. However, I used to do pageants where I put on all the makeup and all that stuff. I did Miss Texas USA, Miss Texas America, Miss Texas Newcomer,
Oh,
Miss Houston. I did
Yes.
Miss Studio 13. The only pageant I won was Miss Studio
sure.
13. But the thing about it is, I had to wear all the makeup just to get my foot in the door because there were already people who had locks on the jobs of hosting. It was the Cookley Cooks, the Donna Days, the Naomi Sims, and all the other white girls that were hosting these pageants. So I just couldn't come as a newcomer and host these pageants. They already had those people that was hosting all the pageants. So eventually, somebody started a show, New Kids on the Block. Randy Rochelle in Houston. She started a show on the block, New Kids on the Block, and I was hosting that show. And that show was the New Kids. And the New Kids at that time was me, Tiffany Brooks, Portia Parrish, Chanel Nicole, Chevelle Brooks, all those girls. So I was hosting that show. And she was doing it like once a month. But she started doing it on her birthday. Then everybody was like, well, why don't y'all do it, like once a month? Then why don't y'all do it every other month? So I was the host of that show. So of course, I was in school. I was in college. I was going to Texas Southern University. So I had to come up with my drag name. My first drag name was Vanessa because Vanessa Williams was Miss America. So
Mm.
I was Vanessa. When
And I
Vanessa
see, I
Williams,
see y'all resemble because I see your blonde hair.
yes. But when she got dethroned, I was like, oh, I don't want to be Vanessa no more.
So you,
So I changed it to Sophia McIntosh. I got Sophia from the actress Sophia Loren, and McIntosh from Macintosh Computers because I was going to college and I thought I was smart. So I just put the two together, Sophia McIntosh. And so from there, it just like took off. It just like took off once I started hosting shows, and then it was just like I once I got my foot in the door, I didn't have to wear the makeup because this is all I wanted to do. The wigs. I was doing the comedy. I wanted to do the comedy, but I had to wear all the makeup to get my foot in the door. Once I got my foot in the door, and I competed for Miss Texas 1 year, competed for Miss Texas USA and Miss Texas America 1 year. Then Craig Henderson, who owns Miss Texas USA, he asked me if I would host Miss Texas, if I wanted to host Miss Texas USA 1 year. And I was like, well, sure. So it's just like I have not won Miss Texas. I only been in one time. And he asked me to host talent. I said, okay. It was a hit. So you want to host Miss Texas USA? You want to host Miss Texas? Yeah. You want to host Miss Texas? You want to? Yeah. So from that led to, because Texas USA and Miss USA, they're affiliated with each other. So uh, Carmela Marcela Garcia was the host for Miss Gay USA. She got into some, she wanted more money and she wanted this and that and da 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 da. It was just like at the last minute, the pageant was around the corner, so she had got into she want this, all these demands and everything. And then Jerry Bird told Craig to see if I wanted to host Miss Gay USA, the talent segment of Miss Gay USA. And I'm like, duh, yeah. So so from that, I just like, I'm hosted. I was working at a theater. I was working the box office at a theater in Houston, the Ensemble Theater, and I was in plays and all that stuff. And then I'm hosting, Miss Gay USA. So my thing is, I have never won Miss Texas. I have never won Miss Gay USA. But now I'm the official talent MC at Miss Gay Texas, Miss Gay USA. Then I'm hosting Miss Black University. Then people are calling me to host all this other stuff. So it's just like, and everything else just plus. Then I moved to Atlanta. I was in Dallas. Then I moved to Atlanta. And when I moved to Atlanta, I was moving to Atlanta to because I wasn't doing drag. I wasn't gonna do no hosting no shows and stuff. I wasn't doing drag shows. I strictly was moving to Atlanta to work on my stand-up comedy because Chris Tucker owned a comedy club here. I wanted to go to Atlanta and start working on my stand-up comedy at this black-owned, black-operated comedy club. And that was my focus when I came here. My intention was to come here, work on my stand-up routine. When I got here, things didn't work like that. And then it's just like all I had to do was just get on a plane and come here because somebody else brought my furniture here, somebody else drove my car here. All I had to do was get on a plane and get here. Once I got here, then it's just like they offered me this gig at this club. So I'm like, okay, I'm just doing this because I gotta have money to pay bills and stuff. So I'm just going to do it. So then working at the club, go to the comedy. I'm announcing for a whole month that I'm doing my first stand-up comedy routine at Chris Tucker's Comedy Club for the amateur night. I went there and the place was packed out. And then they kept coming to me, Sophia, do you mind if we put another person ahead of you? I'm like, sure, go ahead. Sophia, do you mind if we put another person? Sure, go ahead. So now they coming to me, and Chris Tucker's brother, Dexter Tucker, was the one that was running the club that night. So now they're coming to me, do you mind coming back next week? Because we out of spots for amateurs. We got to get these 3 headliners on. I said, well, no, because at this time, Jennifer St. John had beat my mug out. I'm sitting up here in the evening gown, beat out and everything. I said, well, no, because a lot of people came to see me, and I need to get up on that stage and blah, 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 blah. It's just like, no. But I knew what they were doing, but I felt like they were just telling me, do they mind put somebody else ahead of me? Because everybody had tabs. They just running up their tabs, and you pay your tab at the end of the night. So they ain't never had that many people in here on an amateur night, and they was wondering where all these people was coming from because they had to turn people away. It was more people outside than people who could get inside because I had been advertising for a month at tracks, so you know how big tracks is.
Yeah.
So with all of that, they were like, "Oh no, we don't have enough time for no more amateurs. You have to come back next week." So mind you, Chris Tucker brother Dexter, he wasn't coming and telling me this. The manager of the club was telling me this. So years and years later, come to find out, the girl who was the manager that night, she worked in sales at V103, the radio station that I was working in. So she told me everything. She said, oh, and Chris Tucker was there that night, and everything didn't start happening until Chris Tucker left. Once Chris Tucker left that night, because I'm sitting up front in the lobby, and once he left out, that's when they started coming to me, and I was like, okay. So she told me that Chris Tucker was telling Dexter that he didn't want you on that stage and blah, 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 blah. So, okay. So that didn't turn out well. But I ended up on the radio because of that night. Long story short, I ended up on the radio. And then it's just like, my whole thing has been, God could dream a bigger dream for you than you ever dreamed for yourself. Because my thing was to do stand-up comedy. Come here to do stand-up comedy. When I got here, I ended up on the #1 morning show in Atlanta. I have met people, I have seen people impersonate Whitney Houston. I met Whitney Houston. I have seen people impersonate Beyonce. I have met Beyonce. I have seen people, do Mary J. Blige. I have worked with Mary J. Blige. I have worked with Taraji P. Henson. I have, so it's just like, my thing is, and when I was little, the things that I remember, when I was little, I always wanted to work downtown in Houston. I've always wanted to work in a building in downtown Houston. So it's just like, and one day it dawned on me that, when you were little, you said you wanted to work in a building downtown in Houston. So now you're working at this radio station. It's in downtown Atlanta. So it's like, oh, I'm doing that. So then when I was little and I was used to do the plays at church and stuff, and I was playing the devil and all that, and then you know how the old women are in the church, that child gonna be a preacher one day. Ooh, that child gonna be a preacher one day. And it's just like, I ain't gonna be no preacher. And so it's just like years and years ago, I realized that I am a preacher because my comedy is a ministry. So now I refer to my comedy as ministry because this is my ministry. Yeah. Although I'm not a preacher in the traditional sense of preacher, what I do is ministering to people, because I can tell you the countless amount of time that people don't come to me after a show or a gig say, I lost my mom, or I lost my sister, I was real sick, and I was such and such, and I haven't smiled in a long time. And when I came to see you, this is the first time that I have laughed and such, and you just,
Yes,
and
God.
so it's just like I started treating, I said that, my comedy is a ministry. And ever since then, I have been treating it as such. And I try to, even when I go and I do stuff, like when I was on the radio station, it's like, yeah, there's things that I want to do, go get my freak on and all of that. But it's just like, well, what if I get called in a scandal? I'm gonna make it hard for the next person to walk in the door behind me. And
Mhm.
that's why for the longest, when I left V103 the first time, I didn't say anything, because I wanted it to be okay for the next person to be able to go up there and get hired at, if not at V103, at another radio station, without the baggage of, y'all remember they hired Sophia, and then how she's, and and then she brought shame to the radio station and all that, and blah, 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 blah. It's just like none of that. And then you can't speak on certain situations afterwards, because they are still watching you. Somebody may want to hire you for another radio station, but they're going to look at how you treated the person that just let you go, to see how you act. And if you act like, fuck me 103, I don't give a damn about that, and your mother, see, if she do that to them and they gave her that opportunity, she'll do the same thing to us. So you have to be conscious of that. But, it's just like, I'm still on my journey, still doing my thing, and still learning and still growing.
Yes.
You have had like an amazing career. I know that I have watched you probably like 25 years. But I tell you this all the time. I don't think that you remember when I really first actually ever spoke to you. Do you remember that? The story that I told you when I first, like, we first spoke?
What was the conversation?
So it was the year that I won Black America Plus, and the pageant was like running behind, and it was something going on in Atlanta. I want to say it was the Olympics in Atlanta, like '99.
It was.
Yeah, okay. And so the traffic was hellacious. And when I pulled up, I was like frantic. You were standing outside on the little ramp outside of the club. And when I jumped out, you saw me like jumping, grabbing my stuff. You was like, "Oh, girl, child, this is a black pageant, girl. You on time? They late, girl. They ain't gonna stop." You had went in, and that was like my first experience, like really like talking to you. But I have loved your ministry, your artistry for so many years, and that's why I love to bring you back to Virginia, because um, you just move the room. You know what I'm saying? And people can be in a really heavy place, and your words, just how quick, fast you are, because you answered some questions I was going to ask, because I wanted to ask about college and your major and how Sophia came about. But you awesome, Sophia, awesome. And then just when I sit and talk on a personal level and listen to how deep and how educated and how articulate you are, bitch, they got you from being in the pageant and made you the MC, bitch, because you was the obstacle. They said, let's move her to the microphone, darling.
Okay.
They
Okay.
were scared.
And it's just like I have been gifted with opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. And like I said, when they invited me to host Miss Gay Texas US of A, I didn't have to fill out no application. I didn't have to win Miss Texas US of A. Same thing with Miss Gay US of A. Didn't have to fill out no application, didn't have to win the payment. Same thing happened when I went to V103. I filled out an application for V103 the first time after I was hired.
Mm.
So it's just like, I know that I have been given golden opportunities, and it's my job now to. That's why I'm always kind of like pulling for the underdog, because I was an underdog. I was an underdog in a lot of situations, and doors were just open. And I mean, when you sitting in church and stuff, and you hear people say doors will be open that, in your face, and that's true. I have been the recipient of doors opening in my face, and I ain't even have to. I just stepped on the mat, and the doors just open automatically.
Amen. That's
And,
because of what you put in the universe.
That's good.
and then
Mm.
it's just like when you hear a situation when you sit in church and they say, "Child, you be," unexpected checks in the mail. It's like, girl, unexpected. No, I'm waiting on my check.
Or when they say about overflow.
But when I did the Tyler Perry movie, I got my check, and I just figured, like, no, I got my money. Little did I know that I was going to get checks, constantly receive checks after the movie from residuals and stuff. And anytime they show it on, we get paid quarterly. Anytime they show it, in different countries, or they show it on cable and all of that, each quarter we get checks for when they show that movie. But that first one, when that first one came, when they opened, when they opened the movie here in the United States, and I went to the mailbox and I got the check out, and I was like, you know how you get these checks sometimes that this is not an actual check, and I was like, Rich, what is this? So I just admit, I'm thinking it's one of them sweets, the publishing clearhouse sweepstakes, how they get these fake checks and stuff there. And then I looked, and when I opened it up, and then the invoice at the bottom is like, Tyler Perry, I can do bad all by myself. And I'm like, yeah, it's real. It's real. And I went call my mama, honey. But it's like, yes, child. And it's just like, I'm always helping the underdog because I have been the underdog with honey. And I have a couple of kids that I have brought on board. And then and they, you probably guess who they are, honey. You see who they are. But it's just like, even now with my new hyenas, it's just like, once you're a part of my family, you're a part of my family. But it's just like, you have to allow people to be who they are. You have to allow people to be who they are and to love them for where they are. Because a lot of the mistake that I made, even when I was dealing with my relationships with them, picking lovers and all of that, it took me a while before I realized that, I grew up under a two-parent household. The majority of the people that I end up dating,
I'm
they
not.
can be single parent. So they saw love different than the way I saw love. But if you weren't loving me the way I was loving you when I was young, it's just like, you don't love me because you ain't loving me how I'm loving you. And then it took me a while to realize that their definition of love is different because you have a definition that comes from two parents. They have a definition
Yeah.
that comes from one parent. But just because they don't show you love the exact same way that you show them love, don't mean they don't love you. So it's just like, oh.
So speaking about love, is Sophia dating? Is Sophia single?
Yeah, there's some static. I can't hear you.
Look, I thought you was getting ready to go to the black screen. That's what I was waiting for the black screen.
No, I'm not dating. But I am open to date. And my thing is, because if I was the person that I am today, if I was this person 20 years ago, I would be in like a 22-year-long relationship right now.
Mm.
But because I took for granted, what I had, and I was focused on me. And like I said, I was always entertaining. I was always looking for, I'm going to work, going to host the shows. When I was in Houston, hosting shows in Dallas, I'm going to host the shows. Then I'm doing these free pads. I'm going to the pageant, and I come home and I do some things with my lover and blah blah blah. Then I'm going out of town to host this event. I'm going here. I'm getting ready to go here. I'm going here, and then I come home and I take care of my love and all of that. But it's just like the mental and emotional part that they wanted, I wasn't given that. And I was in 3 relationships. All 3 of the relationships, all 3 of them told me, when are you gonna give me the attention that you give your fans?
Yeah.
It's just like, you don't think I want to be entertained? They say you give them all of you, and you just give me a piece of you. And if I'm the most important thing in your life, then I should get the majority of you as opposed to them. And then the first time I heard it, it was like, child, I'm coming home. At least I ain't cheating. I'm getting with you. So
I'm
what you do? And then the second time it happened, I'm like, oh, child. Then the third time it's like, Well, bitch, how many times you gonna have to hear this before you realize that you're doing something that you need to change?
But look, it's hard to change the bag. It's hard to change the bag.
Yeah.
It's about the
But
bag.
yeah, but
You-
then you have to come to the realization that the bag can't kiss you, the bag can't hold you, the bag can't comfort you. The bag, there are certain things that the bag can't do that you want and you desire, but you can't get because you're chasing the bag. So since you realize that now, when are you gonna stop chasing the bag and start, changing, you know, who you are to be with the person that you want to be with?
well, let me say that the bag might not kiss you. The bag may not take you out on a date, honey. But the bag makes sure that you can love yourself, honey.
But then
And
I
look,
have to
I'd rather
say,
have the bag than some cheating ass man, honey. I'd rather have the bag.
but
That is don't never work for that so
that's
long.
when I have to throw my line on you from mahogany. What good is success if you don't have nobody to share it with?
And that's true, Sophia, because like
Because
I feel like dating for me is hard. And like I want to be in a relationship, but I feel like because how my schedule is and how much in the public eye I am and how many irons I got in the fire that it just ain't happening for me yet. But it is what
but the thing about it is, and I just had this conversation with my child. I mean, last week I literally had this conversation with my child who's in a relationship. And so the thing about it is, it was like you are ready. You are ready. You are ready for a relationship. I am ready for a relationship. And as long as you show, all you have to do is show up as your authentic self. Your day, everything. What's gonna happen Wednesday? What's gonna happen Wednesday in your life, Zakia? Next Wednesday, what's gonna happen?
I don't know.
And that's the same thing in a relationship. You don't know what's gonna happen from day to day. And it is what you make it. What you all two people make it. You're gonna have to deal with him on this day. He's gonna have to deal with you on this day. You can't worry about tomorrow. You can't worry about the next day, the next day. You have to show up as your authentic self. And I told my daughter, I said, what gets a lot of people in trouble when it comes to relationship is because we have been brought up to think that relationships are fairy tales. You're not Cinderella. He is not a knight in shining armor. You are you, he is him. And you all come together and you all create you all's fairy tale. Don't try to go into the relationship thinking you Cinderella and he's your knight in shining armor. Y'all have to write the script every day. Y'all write the script to your relationship. And all you have to do is show up as your authentic self every single day. And that person has to show up as their authentic self every single day. And y'all write y'all life, y'all love story together. The love story that you have, it hasn't been written because you're not with that person. And then and I'm telling her because you have to, because the longer you wait, the worse it's going to get because you're set in your ways. And then when you get somebody that finally wants to share their life with you, you're so busy worried about, I don't want the ashtray over here. I want it on this side of the table. I don't want the dishes over here. I want the dishes right here. Because you have been living with self for so long and you like to have things a certain way. So when you decide to invite somebody into your life, you have to let all that go because you're inviting disruption into your life. Somebody is getting ready to come and disrupt everything that you have worked hard for or everything that you have been doing by
Oh,
yourself.
word.
Because
Mm-hmm.
if we get in here and we fussing about an ashtray, girl, you serious?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna take this ashtray. If this ashtray is really distracting our relationship and keeping us from writing our story, I'm going to take this ashtray and I'm gonna slam it on the concrete so hard till it just breaks and shatters. And then I'm gonna come back in the house and say, well, now we got the ashtray out of the way. What we gonna do today?
I love you so much, Sophia. Like,
That was good. That was good.
yes, yes,
Because
yes.
it's just like you just gotta you and that person. That's why it's important that you don't invite your friends in your relationship. You don't invite their parents and nobody else because it's you. You're writing your story daily. You're actually writing it daily.
It's
Then
true.
the next day, it's something else.
That's
And
true.
no
So
relationship is no different from a week or a month. We don't know what's gonna happen. We don't know, and you have to
so
let.
what's next for you?
What's next for me? Well, next for me is uh my YouTube channel, and my own radio show. You know, I'm doing my own radio show on We Are You Radio, weareyouRadio.com. And my YouTube channel, Miss Sophia, MISS Sophia. So what's next for me is with my radio show, I want to be better than the number one person out here right now doing radio. I want to be better than them. And I want to be recognized as they go, girl, have y'all listened to that show? The Club Chit Chat on Will You Radio, Miss Sophia. I want to have the Wendy Williams status when it comes to radio. I want to have the Tom Joyner status, the Ricky Smiley status. So I'm working towards getting my radio show to that level. And it takes work. With my YouTube channel,
So we had Devontae Spartan on the show previously, who's the first Mr. Virginia Pride, as well as Victoria C. Snow, which is also a former Miss Nations as well, and as well as many other things. But go check out Virginia Pride. They got a good reign, and I've seen it, so go check it out.
Yeah, they're doing the pageant virtually this year. So I will actually be entertaining and judging on the 25th. And so they have somebody that's like streaming the event and all of that. So it's gonna be really cool. It's gonna be a little different, entertaining at a pageant, and there are no people there. But
Yeah.
anywho, you gonna have people at the pageant on the 29th, aren't you, Snickers?
Yeah, that's the only way it's gonna go for me.
But give it up to Virginia Pride for like thinking outside of the box. I'm excited how, how it's gonna work out. So if you have any need to get information, please see Michelle Levine. I know that she is coordinating that and spearheading that. And then again, Mr. and Miss Peach State is coming up November the 29th. Plug it, Snickers, plug it, do your thing.
November 29th, Peach State, Mr. I ain't dragging more drag. Atlanta, Georgia. Make sure y'all come out and support.
You all right?
It's always a good battle. Is that for Peach State? How many girls did you compete against?
Oh, there were 10 girls the night that I won this day.
It was 10 girls. Yeah, it was
10.
Brianna, you doing the pageant this year?
She's under contract. I do not play.
I know you're going to work.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
And then don't forget that Sunday, September the 27th, if you haven't made your reservations for brunch in Dragland, make sure you do. That's September the 27th, showtime at 4 p.m. until 7:30 p.m. And that show is produced by the birthday boy / birthday girl, Mario Lee / Phoenix Baldwin. So the tickets are on Eventbrite. Make sure you go ahead and purchase your tickets because we're practicing all social distance guidelines, and it would be better to get your seat early because at the door you're going to gag. So get your tickets in advance.
Okay.
Boom.
We got a brunch in Atlanta on Sunday night too. If you guys are from Atlanta, there's a brunch at Traffic. But Sophia hosts the brunch. I'll be there tomorrow. But yeah.
Well, first of all, I've never heard of nobody having no brunch at night.
Tomorrow. Traffic.
You said a brunch on Sunday night.
I heard Sunday afternoon. Y'all
if they have a brunch on Sunday night, I don't want to be there because that's time for dinner.
And you'll be with tonight.
Oh my goodness.
We do brunch at Club Traffic it's doors open at 1. The show starts at 2. It's me, Sasha, Naisha, Nicole, and Raquel. Then we host the Divas and Dukes on Sunday nights. Trinity Kardashian Bonet show. Divas and Dukes on her Facebook page at 10 p.m. And then of course I'm on the radio, We Are You Radio, Monday through Friday, 2 to 6 p.m. And every night I'm on my YouTube channel singing because my laughing hyenas, they want me to be on there every night, all night. And then when we finish with that, they want to do Zoom. So then when I go to work looking like a zombie, they say, "My mama, you need to get your rest."
Well, y'all, I have been truly enjoyed our conversation this evening. Snickers, thank you for joining. Thank you for sharing information about the state. Thank you for keeping pageantry alive and always hollering, drag, drag, and more drag, juicy drag.
Keep it peachy.
Well, thank you for inviting me. And I've enjoyed this. I always enjoy my sister Zakia, Bree, Dallas. She down there at the wedding, honey. Girl, y'all didn't have no reception.
Yeah, we did. I was actually with DJ Derek at the wedding, so it was awesome.
Oh, okay. Let me send me the pictures, honey.
I
Look,
will. I tag you.
my dad, Bernard Howe, says that we need a word from Miss Sophia. What kind of words you want from Miss
I
Sophia?
see. Hey, yeah, our word.
He missed it.
Patience.
Go to her laughing hyenas.
That's the word, patience.
Oh, wow.
That's what I tell all my laughing hyenas, because somebody asked me if you could tell your younger self something that your older self could tell your younger self something, what would it be? And I would say patience. Just be patient and take care of you. Because everything that we be rushing, everything when I was young, we were rushing to get to the club, we were rushing to drive, we were rushing to do this and rushing to do that. But rushing to smoke cigarettes, rushing to drink. I'm older. I'm in my 50s now. Clubs are still around. People still drinking. People still driving. People are still smoking. So it's just like take care of you. Just be patient. And it's hard to hear that and uh, to invite that in your life when you're younger, because that's something young people don't want to hear. And it's just like patience. Like nothing is going away. Nothing is going to change. And even if it does go away, even if it does change, when you get to the age where you're an adult and you can do stuff, you can bring it back. You can bring it back. Because it's like everything that's going away now. Like bell bottoms were a big thing back in the day. They left and they went away. Then years later, new fashion design until they come, bell bottoms are back in. But girl, oh girl, I love these bell. Girl, they was wearing them back in the day. So even if stuff go away, you could be the one to reinvent it. So just patience, honey. Just be patient. Patient. And calm down. Calm down.
So you do remember what we talked about the adjustment in your contract for your next bookings, right?
So the only way I'm going to sign that new agreement is if you would take me over to what's the area?
Jackson Ward. Lord, she wants to go to the hood so bad.
The hood.
All the way I'm gonna sign that new agreement is if you would take me to Jackson Ward and I can bring me somebody over there to spend the night with me.
Well,
Is our
I
kid?
book your hotel.
Baby. Uh, when I was there the last time, I said, girl, what's it? This is the trash. She said, oh, girl, you don't want to be over here. This Jackson Ward. And then when we got to where we were going, somebody said, oh, they was over there shooting. They had a shootout over there. And then somebody said, you need to go to such and such. They fired like 20 shots over there. Oh, good. Come on, let's go. They finished shooting now. Let's go see who survives. See if we can get them to come with us.
Hey, look, this fool was talking about something over there shooting and carrying on because I ain't been over there.
Something is the kicking.
So he was gonna bring peace across the project.
Baby, that food. We ain't talking about that food you had catered.
Yes. That cornbread. We had them last week on the
Baby,
show.
Snickers.
Yes.
First of all, when we go to Zakia's house, before she let you in, she doing this. She got to check your temp. She got a gun. She checking your temperature check. Little did she know, I done came all the way over there. If my temperature's too high, she going in there and fix me a plate when I leave.
No, I was gonna put you in the garage in the quarantine room.
Okay, quarantine for 8 hours so that temperature come down. Put on some ice.
Um, I was over a friend's house the other day and they had somebody come from Houston. I said, when did you get here, babe? She said, oh, I just got here yesterday. I said, And I got my mask and put it back on. They said, but what you doing? Oh, baby, she's supposed to be in quarantine for 14 days. She just got here yesterday.
Oh my God.
But yes, I love you, child. I love you, and I'll see y'all. Look forward to seeing y'all next month, honey. We'll have a great time as always.
Yes, yes, yes. So I love y'all. Thank you, viewers, for joining in and tuning in and laughing with us and for your comments and all of that. Snickers, I love you. Sophia, I love you.
They say that.
Co-host, anything y'all want to say to the to our special guests before they leave?
I cannot believe Snickers that we bought that.
I enjoyed y'all thoroughly tonight, man.
Yes, thank you, Snickers, for
I
all your
got to
support over the years.
I attempted to touch her one week. Maybe she don't cut up too much.
Thank you, Snickers, for all your support over the years and the great time. Every time I come to Peach State or around you in Atlanta or you're here, it's always a great time. So thank you for that. We need older members in our community to take these lead roles and guide us the right way. And y'all are examples of that. Zakia being one of them. Thank you, Zakia, for booking Sophia at the pageant because as a competitor in the pageant, being backstage with Sophia just totally made the environment a fun environment to be in. And so I encourage all the pageants out there that grace Sophia with their presence. It's amazing. Being a competitor myself, it definitely made the pageant experience fun and it made it worth the coins and all of everything and the stress and all of the preparation and the beef and all of that. It just made it so much fun. I appreciate it. And so thank you, Sophia, for what you've done. I've even went to Atlanta outside of Richmond, going to another place where I'm not from, and you did the same thing at Westland, and my experience has been great. So just thank you for what you do with the word, and I'm a hyena, so thank you.
You're welcome, baby. Thank you for the love and support, honey.
Bree.
Sophia, every time I see you, I can't get it together because this lady is hilarious. But I love what you do because I believe that laughter makes you live longer.
Yes, God.
So that's why I act the way I act because I believe it makes you live longer. You know what I'm saying? It takes too much energy to frown. You know what I'm saying? So I love what you do. You make people laugh. I mean, you're one of my inspirations because I do like to make people laugh, and it's something natural that we do. It's not nothing that we stage it up. It's just you are just a natural, funny person. You know what I'm saying? A lovable person, a genuine person, and I really love you for that. And whatever you got your heart on, honey, just speak it into the atmosphere and grab it. Snickers, I want you to continue doing what you're doing. I know you've had some ups and downs with Peace Day and people saying this, but you've overcome it and you've kept going, and that should be the motivation to keep pushing you to make the haters hate. So I know it's haters on. I know it's haters on both of y'all side, but y'all just keep doing what y'all doing to make the haters hate.
Thank you. Don't be crazy.
So she like I'm the one got her laughing. I ain't saying that.
Sophia is a fool. For real. I
You
know.
make my chest.
But before we get on here, I just want to
mm,
request that everybody keep Cameron Black in our prayers. Cam, he was in a real bad accident. So I spoke to Natasha the other day, and he is on the road to recovery, but he has a long road of recovery ahead. So I want y'all to keep Cameron Black. Why can't I say his name? Cameron Black. We call him Cam, because I call him Cam, and he calls me Auntie Josie. He calls me Auntie Josie. So we'll pray for him, and I look forward to the day when he calls me Auntie Sophia again.
Yes, man. Well, Sophie, when the merch is ready, let me know because I definitely want a T-shirt, a cup, a fan, or whatever, a little bit of everything. So let me know.
I shall.
And again, I appreciate the friendship and love, y'all. I really do. Like Sophia, you just don't know how much you mean to me. I love you with all my heart. And Snickers, you know we ride or die. So I appreciate y'all. Thank you for spending this time with us. Thank you, viewers, for checking in. And until next week, we're gonna leave y'all all with a big hole.
Keep it peachy.
Bree.
Yeah.